Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela. And I just want to do a short video on the two decks I modded recently. Both of these decks I don't really use simply because uh, they cards actually technically now that I'm thinking about it, the cards are they both had huge white borders, which I hate. They both had that plasticky cardstock feel. Now one I've had for quite a while now, and I just never used it. But I took it yesterday, took both decks, and just chopped off all the borders, um, except the very bottom. But this one is and I've done it with the Druid Craft, and I was saying I was going to do this one forever, and I just never did. This is the Wildwood Tarot. Used to have big white borders on them. The borders on the back don't kind of match because it was kind of off center. Because you can see whites here on the backs and stuff, but they are completely borderless now, except for the name at the bottom. And I have modded or edged the sides in dark green. I freaking love it now. Love it. I mean, I loved it before, but it's easier to handle now. The cardstock just I don't know who's doing this plasticky cardstock, and it's the same glossy cardstock as the Druid Craft. And I have trimmed it. Oh my gosh. I have trimmed it. Now, this is not perfect. It is off a little. Just a touch. But I love it now. It opened up the artwork. Instead of distracting with the huge white borders. And I think this will be more accessible now, if that makes any sense. Sometimes, a lot of the time, if a deck has big, huge white borders, it will completely shut me down because all I see is this huge, hideous white border. This artwork is stunning. Stunning. Look at this death card. I mean, or Seven of Vessels, sorry. It's gorgeous. And it really does something to the energy of the deck when you take the borders off and open that artwork up so it can breathe. The moon on the water. Oh, gorgeous. And like I said, this was always a beautiful deck. It was always howling at the moon. Gorgeous. It was always beautiful. The white border stopped me from using this. Plus, I still don't like the cardstock. It's too thick and glossy. I still cannot shuffle this. I couldn't shuffle it before. Not well. Because of the plasticky cardstock. I could not shuffle this that well. I still can't shuffle it that great. But you cannot tell me this is not a stunning deck now. Like, just, it literally opens it up. The board, and look at that guy. My favorite card. King of Vessels, the Heron. I'm going to have to do a video on the Heron because, it's not the Heron, but I have a few decks now where it's either a pelican or a beautiful heron like this one. And it's something about this specific type of bird that just draws me into the deck. Don't know why, but that's my favorite part in this deck. It's stunning. I should look at the book. Look at that guy. Look how beautiful. Now, it's so much more open and alive feeling. It almost feels like this was art And then it became a living thing once I cut the borders off. If that makes any sense to you guys at all. But look how beautiful. It's just stunning now. Look at this guy. Gorgeous. The Journey. That's the death card. Sorry. Gorgeous. That's how little I've worked with it. I don't know what the cards are yet. It's stunning. Let me see if I can... I mean, it's a smaller, more tarot size, so you can't shuffle that because the cardstock still sucks. So I can't riffle. So I just do it like this. It's very hard to shuffle, even before. I just shuffle it like this. Or, I mean, it's so glossy, gross, thick cardstock. What fell out? The Two of Arrows. Injustice. Interesting. So I have a feeling I'm going to be working with this a lot more now. I freaking love it. It is bowed, but it's the cardstock, man. I just, ugh. Anyway, that was the first deck that if this one fell out. It's the Eight of Bows, the Eight of Wands, Heartfire. Interesting. So that is the first deck that I modded. Completely took the sides off and the top. The next one, I had given up on this deck. I was like, nope. The second I got it, it was out the door. And then I'm like, something said, okay, you need to work with it before you toss it. And again, it was the cardstock was so hated that I was like instantly nope. And I don't do that with decks. I at least give them a chance. And I wasn't even wanting to give this one a chance. I was like, as soon as I touched it, I'm like, nope. But I have been wanting it for a long time. It started out an indie deck, then it became mass market. I'm like, ooh, it's cheaper now. I can go get it. Went and picked it up for like $20 on Amazon. Got it in the mail. Started a walkthrough and was instantly regretting the purchase because of the cardstock. And I have, okay, we'll just show you. It's the This Might Hurt Tarot deck and guidebook by Liminal 11. I love the images, love the coloring, love the readings I did get when I did decide to give it a chance. I just hate the cardstock. It's so plasticky, and it, of course, comes in a 2-part box, as all their decks do. And then I watched somebody recently with a trimmed version of it. I'm like, I can just trim it. And I had already decided to keep it because I did work with it. Oh my gosh. And the more I worked with it, the more I realized I loved it. But I still didn't reach for it often because of this glossy, horrid cardstock. And I'm like, ugh. So then, when I saw this person's walkthrough, they had trimmed some of it and distressed the sides to make it look kind of old, with this like antique brown. And I'm like, oh, I want to do exactly that. But I did it a little bit differently. I freaking love it now. It came out so good. It is still also uneven. I even used a cutter, and both of these decks I used a cutter and a measurements, but I still went off just because. But this is the new and improved, even though it's the same cardstock version of the This Might Hurt. These are the backs. Not much has changed. Yeah. And as I was looking for my antique brown, I came across this color. It's called Victorian Velvet Distress Ink, and I've never used it, and I decided to use that instead, and it came out so wonderful. So this is the edging now, and I did just swipe it a couple times. I wanted it to look distressed, and it came out so fabulous. I'm still thinking of, because I can't find the brown. When I find the brown, kind of running it through also. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. But I love the color. And there's a lot of colors in here that match this. So I wanted to make it look faded and old. And I think I did a good job of that. I left a lot of the corners open. Just because the corners are the first to go usually anyway when a duck's gilded, right? So these are the backs now. And then here's the fronts. The white part on both, because I measured these to they are almost perfect measurements. So the white part with the justice and the numbers were kind of off a little. But let's pull this up a little bit more. Now they're borderless. I rounded them in a medium size. I did both decks in the medium corner rounder. And I freaking love it now. It's so awesome. It's more of a pocket deck now, which I freaking love. Right now I'm looking for a bag, or probably should just make a bag for it. I wanted to get these like autumnal browns as the distressed edging, but I'm really digging the velvet, the pink velvet, just because there's so many of this also in here. But I freaking love this deck now. I'm like, it's so cute. It's so cute. And it also, taking the borders off, it didn't do that with the other deck, but I almost no longer even notice that it's the plasticky cardstock. I also trimmed the extra card in there just because I left it in the deck. So I trimmed it. The Empress, so stunning. I did take off a little more than I wanted to on the edge, on the sides, but I still left everything in there. And I don't think anybody would even notice if they weren't doing a comparison of the deck. But I left all the good stuff on there. It's stunning. I freaking love this. So, and I forgot who it was that did the, see, that's that purpley edgy color here. Love it. I don't know who it was that showed their deck, but if I remember, if I run across it again, I'll post the link below. But they had trimmed it to where they left some of the black border on. I was like, no, if I want to take borders off, it's all coming off. But they left, I think, the black lines, and then it was the corner rounder they did left some of the black up here because they left the top parts too, and just rounded them. I couldn't do that. I'm like, nope, gotta go. And I freaking love this deck now. I'm like, what? Oh my god, and that was the Eight of Wands that just fell out of the other one, and this one was upside down in the deck. That's weird. But, oh yes. Gorgeous. I freaking love it now. You'll probably be seeing this a lot more. It is a little bit easier to shuffle, but again, I hated the shuffle to begin with because of the freaking cardstock. It really disappointed me because this was a deck that I was really on the fence about not getting because it was, indie deck. And it was on my list forever. And then the second it came out mass market, I bought it and I was so excited. And then I get it and I'm like, what the heck is this cardstock? Because I have several Luminal 11 decks. None of them have this cardstock. They are shuffleable. They are a matte cardstock. This is like, I could put this in the bathtub with me because it's plastic. That's what it feels like, and I hate it. But trimming the borders off kind of helped, again, free up the artwork, but it also freed the, it's no longer a distraction, to where all I notice is the cardstock because of the white borders. I think part of it is now, to cover the box, I I love it. I love it to pieces now. But that is the This Might Hurt Tarot. I did, let me see. It's a little bit better to shuffle, but not much. I still shuffle it sideways, which is what I did with it to begin with anyway. So the shuffle really doesn't do any different. I can still shuffle like this now. But, I mean, this cardstock really hinders you. Really. And the Eight of Swords fell out. This cardstock really hinders you from being able to shuffle well with these types of decks. And I just don't understand it. Don't understand it. But this one came out pretty good. I mean, very accurate. And I freaking love that there's no more borders on my decks. So that is the This Might Hurt Tarot. Now edged in a pretty velvet color. And I think it really does go well with the backs. And my Wild Unknown also trimmed down with the borders off. And the edge is now green. Because what other color would you use for Wildwood Tarot? That's my favorite color, green, by the by. So that is the video. I want to show you guys just an update on these two decks that now have completely changed my attitude toward them and my approach to them. They've even changed what feels like their energy has changed because I've relieved them of their borders. If that makes any sense. But that's my video. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to comment below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And y'all have a good night.